Hey, Facebook family. Welcome to a video that I have to be honest is probably one of the hardest things I've had to do. Not necessarily hard because it is externally challenging, but because it is internally challenging. And it's one of the hardest videos I've had to do, but it's also one of the most necessary videos I've had to do because this is a video I'm doing for my own healing. And so, with that being said, this is not a video for sympathy. This is not a video for advice. So, please don't offer either. I will not be accepting either, and I will either delete comments that are against those guidelines or block. So, having said that, um, I have helped people around the world for many years heal themselves from all types of things, from things of the heart, but specifically from illnesses and diseases. I've helped people heal from cancer, stage 4 cancer. I've helped people heal from diabetes. I've helped people heal from all types of immunosuppressive diseases. I've helped people heal from HIV. I've helped people heal from all types of things that people have been labeling as incurable. And while I've helped so many people over the years across the world heal, there has been something in me that has not healed. and I became very, very aware of why that is. Actually, I've kind of known for years why that has been, but I've been really scared to be honest. I've been scared to do what it takes to heal that for myself. And this is part of that process. This is part of me healing myself from that finally. Um, and so, again, this is really hard for me to do because there's a lot of fear around this for me, and there's a lot of shame around this for me. And which is, again, because there's fear and shame around it, I know this is the direction I'm supposed to go because shame is never the truth. And when we're living in shame, we're not living our truth. And fear is always pointing us towards the direction of our freedom. Whatever we're afraid of, if we walk towards it, that's where our greatest freedom lies. And what I'm really wanting here is to step myself into my next level of freedom, a freedom that I've been wanting for a while. So, having prefaced that, um, what I want to share with you is so if you've been following me for a while, or if you're even new to me, you know that um, in 2004, I had a near death experience when I checked into the hospital with what I thought was the flu and ended up instead being diagnosed with several life threatening illnesses and two terminal diseases, which were kidney failure and HIV. And that I underwent a very mystical and miraculous situation after that where I fully healed myself. And that is all true. I had fully healed myself of all the illnesses and fully healed myself of kidney failure and HIV. And that a few years later, though, I found myself back in that same hospital with the exact same situation again. And I had and all the illnesses to the T, even to the T cell count, had the same T cell count. And this time I have 8 hours to live. And in those 48 hours, I had a near death experience where I crossed over to the other side. And I um, I crossed over to the other side, and I was told in my on the other side by source, which some people will call God or higher self. I was told that the key to my health and my healing and my true happiness was to love myself, and that I was going to go through a journey to learn that. And what I was going to learn in my journey, I was going to teach, I was going to share, and that is true as well. Um, but a part that hasn't been a part that hasn't been fully true is um well, actually, let me go back. Let me go back before I share that. So one of the things that happened in the journey after my near death experience was I began to understand how illnesses are manifested in our bodies as soul beings, how they actually are manifested, and how they're manifested very differently than what we're taught. Like we're taught that illnesses and things have there's something externally that causes an illness. And what I've been able to see through my intuitive abilities with working with people heal themselves, because one of my intuitive abilities is I'm able to really communicate with the body and hear what the body needs, hear what's actually the root cause of things. The body literally talks to me and communicates. And I also can see the energy field and the energy matrix of the body. So one of the things that when my intuitive gifts opened up in my journey, one of the things I was able to see was that the root cause of illness is always energetic. Like 99.9%, 99.99%. There are some cases where it's not, where it is caused by something physical, but that is like less than 1% of the time. And the majority of the time, illnesses are manifested in the body energetically. They are caused by some energy imbalance. And the main energy imbalance that causes illness is us not living our truth in some type of way, us suppressing it or repressing it or hiding it, and us not being connected consistently to our joy, to what breathes life through us, to what really calls us, to what we're longing for, to what we're craving for. When we are disconnected from that for a long time, it bleeds the energy of the soul out of the body. And when we are not living our truth, it blocks the energy of the soul from flowing through the body. And the energy of the soul is literally what keeps the body healthy and what gives it wellness, more so than any food you eat. And so I've known that, right? I've taught that. I've helped people with that. But one thing I've really have been, what I've had to be really honest with myself with, because I've really been trying to be well more, is that I haven't really been living fully authentically and I haven't been really connected to my own joy. And that is the reason why I had created the illnesses in the first place. If you've been following me for a while, you know I talk a lot about HIV was manifested for me from years of shame for myself, particularly around my body image. I was teased a lot as a kid for being fat and for being chubby. And so I felt unlovable. I never appreciated my body. I didn't feel lovable. I didn't feel enough. I felt a lot of shame and criticism for myself. And then also around my sexuality, being same gender loving, that same energy was in my body from a very young age. And then my kidney failure was around the energy that manifested that for me was also me not living my truth, right? Not hide a lot of suppressing of myself, a lot of suppressing my sexuality, suppressing my spiritual gifts. I suppressed my spiritual gifts for a while. I was in the closet sexually for many years, but I was in the closet spiritually for even more years than that. I hid my psychic gifts, all of that. And so I wasn't connected to my truth in that way, right? I wouldn't speak what I knew spiritually. I wouldn't really live my truth sexually either. And also, what another part of that I've been coming more and more into awareness in these last few years is that I wasn't connected to my joy at that time, and there were a lot of things that I wanted to do. Right, I authentically at that time, I wanted to sing, I wanted to work in my passions, I wanted to teach spirituality, but I was stuck in this. I was in this job not doing any of that. I was in this life where I wasn't doing any of that. I was constantly serving and meeting the needs of others and wasn't meeting the needs of myself. I wasn't meeting, my needs for joy, my needs for fulfillment, my needs for passion and fun and pleasure. I wasn't meeting any of that. And what I realized, so all of that is true. And I've talked a lot about that. But what I haven't talked about, and so what I've realized is again that I'm still living a life in an area of my life where I'm not being really authentic and I'm not connected to my joy. And it has kept me sick because while I have healed many things over these past few years, many miraculous healings, I've had other diseases outside of kidney failure and HIV that I had, like ulcerative colitis that I healed. I healed hypothyroidism. Um, but one thing that I haven't healed is kidney failure. I'm still experiencing that. And one of the reasons why I know that I'm experiencing that is because I'm still suppressing a truth and I'm disconnected from my joy. And the truth that I'm been suppressing is I haven't really been sharing my journey with kidney failure. I have been hiding that. There are people in my life that are close to me that know this they know this and I share it with them, but publicly I haven't really shared it. And it and the reason why I think I'm suppressing it is because I've been wanting to. I've been wanting to talk about it. I've been wanting to talk about my journey with it and the lessons I've learned from it and the mystical experiences of having with it. Um, and I haven't been doing that. And another thing so that was one, me suppressing my truth. And again, you cannot, um, if you do not, if you, unless you allow yourself to be authentic, to be fully yourself, and unless you allow yourself to find your joy, the body will have no incentive to heal itself because the body is created to house your joy and your truth. And if you're not offering that, then it can't be well because that's what it's here for. It's literally designed by the soul to be the vessel of the soul's joy and its truth. And when you don't hold that, you can't be healthy. You cannot. I don't care how much green juice you drink. I don't care how many healing modalities you take, what medicine you take, what alternative modalities you take. You cannot. The body will not heal unless you voluntarily and consistently begin to live your truth and find and operate from your joy. And I haven't been doing that, right? One reason, and I've been doing that in many other areas. Let me actually be honest. I've been doing this in many other areas, which is why I was able to heal other things. I've been doing this in many other areas, but there's one area where I haven't been doing that, and that is I haven't been sharing my journey with kidney failure and being on dialysis. And that's the authentic part of myself that I've been suppressing. I haven't been sharing that publicly. And the other part of it, the joy is that is my joy. I've been wanting one of my greatest callings and cravings was I wanted to be an example. I wanted to show people the steps for how you really heal yourself, like in real time. Most people that we see that we follow who are healers really share their journey from the past, like what they did in the past that healed them and how they healed, and they share from there now their world perspective. I always wanted to share the journey and be transparent about the journey of healing in real time so you can see me walk myself through it all the way to the outcome. But I wasn't doing that. I was suppressing that part. I was hiding that part, to be honest. And the reason why I was hiding that part was because of the main fear we all share, the number one fear everybody shares. And the number one fear of all souls having a human experience is that they cannot live their full truth and be loved and be safe at the same time. You cannot live your full truth and be loved and be safe at the same time. And that is exactly what I've been feeling around that. And what I mean by that for me, how that manifested for me is I believe that if I really shared that I was still on dialysis and I was still healing that after all these years, that people wouldn't listen to me, that they wouldn't hire me, that I would lose my following. These are some of the fears that were underneath all of this, right? And then the other part of being safe is that again, I would lose my following and I wouldn't be able to support myself to live. And that fear morphed itself into all type of different rational reasons like oh well you need to keep this to yourself because you need to focus on this is part of your own journey. You don't need a lot of outside voices to offer you advice, which is very true. But that was the fee but the real core of it was I was afraid. And so why I'm doing this very video is to finally release that, to like finally release this and to actually morph myself into a new way of being where I am living very authentically and I am following my joy. But that is why. And suppression, even if you know scientifically, like even if you don't follow this whole thing energetically and you don't believe in it, fine. I'm not here to prove anything to you. But you can also look at the science, because there are many studies that have been done that have found when people are suppressing aspects of themselves, whether it's their sexuality, whether it's their belief system or value system, whether it's part of their personality or an aspect of their character. There's many studies that's been found when we suppress ourselves, it actually suppresses the immune system. It operates the fight or flight system in the body because it tells the body there's a threat and that you need to hide. And so it signals the fight or flight system in the body, which begins to flood the body with stress hormones. And those stress hormones suppress the body's natural ability to heal itself the entire time while you're in that fight or flight system. I've been in that system for years, right? And um, and I realized that, right, where I've shared many things, but I haven't shared this. This is like the one piece that's still in the closet. I'm very transparent and vulnerable with many things, but this is like the one piece that I haven't been doing. And I've also been disconnected from my joy because I've been dreaming about doing YouTube videos, and really doing these things where I'm very transparent with you around my healing journey and sharing that. And I haven't been doing it. And this is not, and again, this isn't something that has just been like a small desire. This is a big desire that has never gone away, that has always been there, that has been like the undercurrent under my life for years. And I haven't been feeding it. And this is one of the things that I know that, again, I know that my body has been waiting for me. Although I've done all the healing modalities, I've done all the diets, I've done all the alkaline, I've done everything you can think about. Trust me, I have. And while I have had small and incremental wellness achievements with that, my body has been like, nope, we're not going to fully miraculously recover like we can, because you're still hiding, you have to live the Jerome. You have to live the Jerome. And you have to feed the Jerome as well, because joy is literally soul food. It literally is the food the soul eats. And when you're starving yourself, just like if you were starving yourself from food, if you didn't eat for 3 or 4 days, or imagine if you didn't eat for years, what do you think your body's going to do? Well, here's the thing. Your soul's energy is the bigger determinant of your health than the food you eat. So if you're not feeding your soul, you're going to be sicker than if you weren't feeding your body. And that's what's been happening for me. And I know it. Like, I've had many downloads around it. My guides have spoken it to me. I'm very clear about it. And it was just the fear that's been keeping me. And there has to come a point in your healing journey, and I am at this point, where the fear of losing everything, which is what I just was speaking about, where we fear that if we live our truth, we won't be loved or be safe at the same time. Basically, you fear you're going to lose everything. There has to come a time where you are willing, if you're really going to heal, there comes a time where we have to be willing to lose everything if it means we gain all of ourselves. Because what's making us sick is we were willing to lose all of ourself because we weren't willing to lose anything else. And I am no longer willing to do that. I will no longer lose any piece of myself. I will lose friends, I will lose lovers, I will lose money, I will lose my public image, I will lose everything. But what I'm not willing to lose is myself and my truth and my joy. I'm not willing to lose that anymore. And so I needed to do this video. I needed to do this video to speak this out in truth, to tell you that I'm on dialysis still, and that And yes, I could have gotten a kidney transplant a long time ago. And I'll do another video. This will be part of my YouTube video series, as a matter of fact. I'll do a video on why I denied that, because I knew that my journey was to heal. And that was not actually part of my healing. My soul was very clear on that. I needed to heal this. Um, I need to heal my life. I need to heal it that way. Right. And so I needed to share this. I just need to come as I'm shaking. And this is part of speaking our truth, like speak it even if you're shaking. I need to finally lay the foundation for me to finally live the authentic part of myself, to share this part of my journey out, and then also to lay the foundation so that I can start building my joy. Because my joy really is in being transparent and in being vulnerable and in sharing self healing. Like what I've learned about healing, I've learned a lot about it and I've done a lot of healing. Um, but I wanted to do it in real time. I've always wanted to do that. And this is my opportunity. And um, there's also a part of me that even if I had healed this before, I would have regretted that I didn't share this with you that way. I would have regretted it. And I don't want regrets anymore. I had regrets in my first near death experience, which is why I chose to live, because I realized I had lived a whole life where I wasn't living my own life. And here I am doing it again. um, but I don't want regrets. I want fulfillment. I want to be fulfilled. I want to meet my cravings. I want to meet my longings. I want to meet my dreams. And one of my dreams is to share this in real time and to show you. So I will be doing that. Um, as soon as I move back in my house, which is happening next week, start of next week, I finally got my floors done. I finally, my furniture is about to be moved back in my house, and I'm at my mom's house now, so I'm about to move back into my house. As soon as I move back into my own house and I have my setup, I'm going to be starting a whole YouTube channel where I'll be sharing my self healing journey. Um, and sharing more about this and being very raw and transparent with it, the ups, the downs, the challenges, the miracles, the frustrations, all of that. So watch out for that. But yeah, I wanted to do that, um, so that one, I can finally release my body from this shame. Um, because one thing about that healed shame is revealing. Shame is healed in the light. Shame is not healed in the dark. It never heals in the dark. Shame is fed in the dark. And so shame grows in the dark. The way to heal your shame is to bring it out into the light fully. And the way to heal your fear is to face it. You have to face it. And so the way and the only way to be authentic is to heal the fear that's keeping you from doing it. Right. And so the fear and the shame that's keeping you from doing it. So I just need to say that. I am not fully healed. I have healed many things, and I've been telling the truth about that. But what I have been hiding is that I am still on dialysis and I'm still healing from kidney failure. And I am going to be sharing more about what I'm actually doing to do that starting today. So, thank you all for listening. Um, Again, I'm not asking for sympathy, I'm not asking for advice. I am literally just doing what I needed to do to free my energy so that it can finally heal. And this was step one. So thank you for listening. And as always, I love you. Now go love yourself. Bye.